Again, this is Zero Hedge, and this article was released on the 29th by Tyler Durden, and there is also an update article just here on the 30th, but I'll just read the headline as of the 29th. Bank of England's Mark Carney may announce decision to step down this week. In November 2012, the central bank watching world was rocked when instead of Paul Tucker, a 3-decade veteran of the Bank of England, replacing outgoing governor Marvin King, as many expected, the new head of the central bank was revealed to be the former Goldmanite Mark Carney, something we had anticipated previously, despite realizing that the optics of Goldman dominating European politics and finance left quite a bit to be desired. So as we can see here, guys, by this map, masters of the Eurozone. Dublin has a Goldman Sachs previous worker. Again, the same with France, Italy, Greece. Mario Draghi, also a Goldman Sachs man. Germany, Belgium, and obviously the UK. So if that doesn't show you an infiltrated bankster network running all of the central banks of the major Eurozone countries, nothing it does. And does that look like a fair democratic setup, controlling the monetary policies from within the nations? I think not. And that's why you see articles of Goldman Sachs being the most powerful corporation on the planet. Because in the words of the Rothschilds, I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire of which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply. And then this other quote from Nathan Mayer Rothschild: who controls the issuance of money controls the government. So it goes without saying that Goldman Sachs is owned by the Rothschilds, that the whole entire banking systems are controlled by the Rothschilds, but there will be somebody in control of the Rothschilds. And that is the area that a lot of people still don't know who's behind the curtain. Because the thing about power and money in control is that the real people in control aren't known. They don't want to be on the public stage, and many of their names are not published. But you can guarantee the Queen of England is one of them, albeit whether she is still alive or whether there are clones that have taken over her position just to maintain the order within that family and perception of a frail old lady. How harmful can she be? But you can guarantee that all these guys will be members of secret societies, Freemasonic orders, and have sworn allegiances to the agenda that they follow. And these men are just following the orders that are given to them. And you can guarantee that also the orders are to increase massive destruction inside of the financial sector, which has been a decade-old agenda in money creation, indebting countries, nations, any sovereign wealth, and sucking it into a black hole of the few oligarchs that want mass control, and in turn spitting out poverty to the poor people that live within these systems. Now it goes on with an update as of the 30th. Sterling set to slide. Bank of England declines to dismiss speculation Carney may announce decision to leave. As noted here yesterday, citing reports in British newspapers such as The Times and the Mail Online, Mark Carney's, quote, self-imposed deadline, end quote, for declaring whether he will stay in office beyond 2018 is fast approaching. And guys, bear in mind, 2018 is the year that The Economist magazine is predicting the burning of all fiat currencies and the introduction of a gold-backed form. So you would presume that the establishment has full control of every single aspect of daily life for the people and are orchestrating mass inflation because there's no way out of that inflation without a reset. And when you hold all the keys to all the nations, especially within the Euro and US designated areas, which funnily enough control a huge portion of global finance, the only aspect not included is obviously the Asia and the China aspect. But whether they are in cahoots with the West's agenda, I have my reservations about that, because I find it hard that they won't be on board with some element of swap of control from one system to another system. Because in a way, I believe that all these oligarch elites have been in cahoots for generations and generations. It just moves in a cycle. Everything is a cycle to maintain power and control. And that's why we move from one dynasty to another dynasty throughout the eras. And as one gets replaced, the people approve of the new system that gets put into place. Anyway, it goes on. And the central banker may decide to step down as soon as next week. Reportedly, the 51-year-old Canadian may announce his decision, quote, within days, end quote, at his next scheduled public appearance on Thursday, when the Bank of England announces its policy decision and the governor holds a press conference in London. Today, the Financial Times followed up with the report that Carney's tenure at the Bank of England may indeed be coming to an end, when it reported that, quote, the Bank of England declined on Sunday to dismiss speculation that the governor might announce his decision this week alongside the quarterly inflation report, end quote. So my expectation is that he will probably announce to step down in 2018. That will have an adverse effect on the UK pound, again, making it tumble even further this year. So it's very important for UK citizens who are listening to this report to take action into protecting your fiat currency and converting it into another form that will protect it from another hit that is likely to be coming. Again, physical metals, bitcoins, holding it in gold value via the Gold Money website, protecting you from a hit. It's a race to zero, guys. You need to understand that. And you've got to feel sorry for the guys that are going to be caught out and unaware that channels like this exist to help people, to prepare people, try to prevent them from becoming wiped out in this game of the bankers, of this oligarchy setup, of this transition. And obviously he's clearly doing the work that has been ordered for him to do. And by the time of 2018, if he does declare to be leaving office, his work will be done. His objective will be complete. And it will be somebody else's problem to fix in a very short period of time when it is unfixable. So these guys are just in positions to destroy things. That's the whole purpose. To hold that final authoritative kill switch. And it does go on to say, the impact on sterling would likely be rather adverse when it opens for trading, confirming that if he does inform the media that he will be stepping down, by that time, guys, it's too late to move your money. It's too late to move your currencies into a safer asset class. So I'll leave that story there as well, guys, and just quickly flick over to this one here, which is from Before It's News, published on the 30th, and it's titled Troubling, Britain and France sending tanks and troops to the Russian border. And as we all know, guys, when all else fails, they take you to war. Preemptive strike unfolding. Massive build-up along the border. On the heels of Germany's announcement of tanks and troops to the Russian border, now we have several articles saying that Britain, France and even Denmark are sending tanks, troops and other equipment and personnel to Estonia. NATO is amassing troops on Russia's border, which is endangering all of Europe and the world. And guys, you can go to this article and check out what he says about it. Israeli News Live, or you can go to the beforeitsnews.com website for the link.